appropriate body language, the non-verbal communication, the most important part according to Mehrabian. Let's just keep in mind that whenever we are communicating next with anybody, we will not only consider the words, but the non verbal language, the body language, the facial expressions, eye contact, everything will be observed by us, as well as we will also try to maintain the proper body language to make the conversation effective and to prove that we can communicate effectively. Well, there could be close ended and open ended questions which can be asked, as discussed in the previous slides. Close ended questions means when you are asking a particular question to get a yes or no as an answer, and an open ended question refers to something that requires an answer which will be in an elaborative manner. You do not need only a yes or no, you need to know some information in detail. Well, humor makes the conversation more engaging and stimulating. It works as an icebreaker sometimes. It helps to create that connection which makes two people with different mindset little more comfortable. The environment becomes light and exciting. The kind of awkwardness is vanished within seconds. It is indeed a very powerful tool. Hence, they say that creating a humor is an art. However, right timing is equally important in creating any sort of humor. For example, forming some sort of connection with the people whom you are met recently is sometimes very much important. Such kind of connection can be built by exchanging a light humor, commenting something, or by creating a joke which is generalized and which wouldn't hurt somebody's feelings, may actually create a humor. Adding casual approach in conversation, not a total casual approach which is unaccepted, but of course a light approach, a little casual approach may lead to humor, and it would also enlighten the communication. Empathize, as mentioned earlier, empathizing, understanding the point of view of others, putting yourself into the shoes of others is very much essential for efficient communication skill. Feedback, to complete the cycle of the communication, receiver should always make sure that he is rephrasing, he is reassuring, repeating the message which is being understood by them. Well, apart from all these tips which we have discussed just now, there are a few more tips which might help us to improve our communication. For example, let me just tell you, get rid of any fear of making mistakes. Remember, you cannot learn any language without making mistake in the initial period. While learning English language as a native speaker, as a new speaker, we have a hell lot of apprehension, hell lot of fear. We might say something wrong, we might pronounce something wrong. What would other think of me? I don't have confidence in talking clearly, I do not know grammar. So keep all these worries aside and start talking. Unless you make that first step, unless you take those efforts to start communicating, you will never be able to overcome any of such obstacles which we've discussed earlier. So be open minded, be confident, and be confident to make mistakes. If you do not make mistakes, there would be nobody who can correct you. Hence, feel free to make mistakes. Do not attempt to speak like a native speaker of English from the very beginning. That will only cause frustration. Do not try to add accent. Do not try to act very smart as if you know every pronunciation and you know all the kind of English. Be confident about while talking, but do not try to speak or add accent like foreigners while speaking. Be conversant with the rhythmic pattern of the language. It will help you speak clearly and pleasantly, as discussed earlier. Watching for the rhythm. Have and maintain and actually develop your own style of talking. A thorough knowledge of English intonation pattern would be of great help in your endeavor to speak English fluently. So try to download or try to check how intonations are being spoken or how the correct intonations are, how phonetic charts work. That would help you to improve your language. Try to understand when the other person is speaking by carefully observing his lip movements in the body language or in other kind of nonverbal communication. Watching the lip movement is also very much essential. When speaking, be cautious about your pitch, tone of voice, and rate of speaking. Do not talk very fast, do not talk very slow. Be assured that whatever speech you are making will be understood by a listener. And lastly, not last but not the least, practice, practice, practice. So start talking, communicating in English as soon as possible so that you can identify your mistake and overcome all sort of barriers